Well, I've seen too many commercials for the McDonald's McCrispy and Spicy McCrispy. So now I'm going to make my own version using a Cornish game hen. Yes, it's inside of a giant mixing bowl. Don't fucking ask. And salsa verde and onions and my kid hollering in the background. And some ground cayenne pepper. Because, you know, it's a spicy McCrispy. And McDonald's doesn't know how to spice shit. I mean, good fucking God. Gonna add some ground sage. Not much, but enough. Alright? Ground sage and ground ginger, which is something else we're adding here, are a little overpowering. But, you know, when you know what you're doing, well, you know what you're doing. A little bit of salt. And just so we're clear, the salsa verde is homemade, but not by me. It was made by a good friend of mine, Watai Wood Turning. Wonderful dude. If you're not following him yet, you should be, but who knows, you probably found my page through his. And now some ground cumin, which I had not grabbed originally, but realized I needed in the middle of my sentence. So, there we are, all seasoned up. And now we're going to throw it into and on the Cornish game hen. I have a fucking peanut butter jar holding up my phone, and it fell. Or who knows, maybe that was the spirit of the game hen trying to tell me not to do it. Either way, here we go. So, just going to rub this onto the bird. You know, this isn't like a whole big deal of like getting the onions on the bird or the salsa in and of itself. Just mainly the flavoring and the juices. And we're just going to rub this in there. We're going to take a handful of it. We're just going to spread that out and just shove it in there, you know. You don't have to be gentle with it. Alright, so we're going to massage a little bit more. Rub that bird down. I mean, just rub that bird down. Shove a little more inside it. And then top it a little bit, you know. And now we're going to put it in the fridge. And, well, we're going to just totally forget about it for quite a while. Just going to... Now I'm making pico de gallo. I don't know what's going on anymore in this kitchen. I'm just following and going with the flow and almost cutting my finger off right there. But, you know, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. So we've got, you know, tomatoes. We're going to cut those up. I've done a pico de gallo recipe in an earlier video. So you guys can go watch that, to be honest. I'm not going to redo it here. I'll bring you back when the Cornish game hen is done sleeping. I'm so sad that I had to kill this poor onion for my pico de gallo. If you want to prevent this sadness, just breathe through your mouth, guys, when you're cutting an onion. Don't, you know, worry about all that. Just breathe through your mouth. It's all right. It has now been about 2 hours, and we're going to put this in the oven. It goes on the rack, but over a drip pan so that everything gets caught. You can already see it. And then this is on 400, and we'll come back and check this in about 10-15 minutes. Add some juices to it and let it continue doing its thing. So it has been right around 20 minutes, and this thing looks absolutely incredible. Now, we're going to add some base to it, and then we're going to let it go for another 20 minutes and check on it. The game hen is now out. A little bit crispy, just like I wanted, and we're going to let it sit. We're going to let her rest for maybe about a good 10 minutes, and then we'll carve into her and put her on a sandwich. So I just wanted to show you guys real quick, because this fell off the bone while I was stripping it for the frying. And just look at that. Like, you can see just the glisten here of these juices in the breast. Like, this thing is just so tender and so delicious. And I totally haven't eaten any of it, I swear. Okay, so now that we have the bread all toasted, we're going to crush this up and make breadcrumbs out of it. And then that's what we're going to dip the cut breast in over there, skin and all, in an egg wash. And then we're going to fry it. So yeah, it's gonna be nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. Gotta turn that around. Beautiful piece. It's gonna be helping us do our breadcrumbs here. So we're gonna start with a couple handfuls, and you're just gonna mash. Doesn't matter if you lose some, it's okay. Remember, in life, you're bound to lose a few of your marbles along the way, so why do you care if you lose a few ingredients while you're cooking? Well, nothing that big, but you know, don't worry, my countertops are clean. Wow, this is actually doing this very beautifully and very easily. Look, we're getting some, like, they're falling to the bottom, of course, to bring the other ones to the top, but we're getting some fine coarse in there. Fine coarse, that doesn't sound right. You know what I mean. Look, this has been about a 2-hour process, even though it's, you know, only probably going to be about a maybe 8 or 9 minute video, but, you know. I'll bring you back when this is a little more close to done. Look at those beautiful breadcrumbs we got out of our good friend Wadey Wood Turnings mortar and pestle. Didn't take much toasting either. That Italian bread actually toasts up very nice. Okay, so I mixed the broth in with the oil, and now that's heating up. We have our breadcrumbs heated, we have an egg wash mixed, and we have him, and we're going to take him, or her rather, and we're going to fry the shit out of this and make a good sandwich. Into the wet, into the wet, into the wet you go. I didn't have the wet in frame, but into the wet you go. And, well, the whole thing. Okay. Into the dry, into the dry, into the dry you go. Into the dry, into the dry, into the dry you go. Into the pan. Yay! Rinsing the hand before I wash it. I don't know why I decided to sing, but yeah, now we've got it frying. Nice little egg wash done on it. Into the breadcrumbs. We seasoned the breadcrumbs with salt and pepper, by the way. And now we're just frying away. Okay, so we ripped off the bread earlier, and it seems like we actually ripped a good chunk of it. So we're just going to slice that off, and we're going to give that to the dog. That'll be her, you know, tax paid. Alright, so now we've got a nice good slice right there. And a nice good slice right there. They're a little uneven, but that's okay. And then we're going to make our chicken sandwich. But first, to pay the tax. Alright, back to... I see I need to pay more tax. Look at it. Now we're going to toast our bread. Okay, so we have our Duke's mayonnaise on one side and our Grey Poupon mustard on the other side. Now we're going to assemble this beast with some homemade pickles with Tapatio. Alright, 3 pickles there. Delicious, beautiful Cornish game hen breast laid there. And now the flip. Ooh, nice cut. Look at that. Cheers. Mm-hmm. 10 out of 10.